How are you? Shake your chin. These are gonna be the notepads that I use. Okay. And here we go. Have you ever walked into maybe like a family diner or a public area and seen a whole family just stuck on their phones? Obviously, this is not a sight that anybody would want to see, but it happens a lot more than you may think. In the past couple of years, the need for being on someone's phone or social media has gone up exponentially as people find the need to be on their screens or on social media or some sort of form like that a lot more. In 2014 article titled Unpopular Opinion, the TikTok brain rot must be stopped. It discusses how the need for social interaction has gone down, while the need for being on screen times and social interaction online has gone up. Obviously, this is a bad thing, which can have a negative effect on someone's mental, physical, and emotional health, as they're not getting a human-to-human interaction, which is important for our brains and just for our daily lives in general. Now, to do this, first today we're going to be discussing what is known as brain rot, which kind of summarizes the whole phenomenon of being on one screen way too much. We're going to discuss why brain rot is a problem, then we're going to discuss some of the causes of it, and then finally we're going to discuss some solution that can be to prevent you either from getting it or to stop you from getting to those types of symptoms. Now, firstly, we're going to discuss really what brain rot is. In 2024 article titled "Social Media is Giving You Brain Rot," it talks about how being glued to your screen is not good, and basically the more that you're glued to your screen, the more brain rot you're going to have. Brain rot is basically when someone spends way too much time watching some short form content, whether it be on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, or whatever other platform you want to use, and they're just watching a bunch of short form content that's not necessarily beneficial to them, and it's teaching them a bunch of like weird, like goofy stuff. They get like a high rush of dopamine, but then like it doesn't really provide any beneficial thing for them, and it can lead to lasting impacts later on in their life. In 2024 video by Visual Venture, it discusses titled "The Disturbing Rise of Brain Rot Content for Kids." It discusses how brain rot can be from anyone from a little kid to a teenager to adult, which honestly is surprising, seeing how wide this can be, how wide of a range of people it can affect. They come up with words like skibbity, Ohio, Stillwater, and phantom tax, which to a normal person may not mean anything, but to them it's like some like code words, which can mean a multitude of things which they find funny, but in reality, it's a bunch of nonsense which technically kind of should not be promoted. Similar to that, in 2024 2024 blog titled "We Are Cooked: Brain Rot," it talks about how like unintelligent and nonsensical words have gone too far. Kind of like how I was saying before, like things like phantom tax and like all those words and what they stand for. Sure, it may be understanding to them, but in a couple of years, like you're not gonna put it on like a college app, are you? Like you're gonna be using that in like day to day language. I understand, like yes, kids need to have their fun and whatnot, but there needs to be a line that needs to be drawn when it's understand that it's been taken too far, and that's the problem. People don't understand when it's been taken too far, and they don't understand when they've spent too much time on their phones, and when they should be doing something else productive with their lives. Now that we have discussed some of the causes for brain rot, some of the problems for brain rot. Now we can discuss some of the causes. Now, in a 2022 Stanford study titled "Screen Time: Good, Healthy, and Numbing," it discusses how by spending a lot of time on one's phone, because obviously as you have a phone, you're gonna need to use it. Like you're not just gonna keep it in your pocket all day. Like people want to be on their phones, they're gonna install apps and they're gonna want to do things, right? However, they're gonna be introduced to a lot of content online, and they can be taught, they can taught various stereotypes or not be doing something productive with their life. When they're not doing something productive and they get stuck on their phone, they get bored. When they're bored, the social media and its ability to use its algorithms to trick you into wanting to stay on it for longer and longer, that's when you get sucked in, and that's when eventually you start to be experiencing what's quote unquote called brain rot. Additionally, in a 2024 a blog titled "How Brain Rot is Ruining Lives: A Psychological Perspective," similarly again it talks about how you can get social media addiction, or you get addicted to social media and you're just like stuck on your phone and you don't really know what to do, because like all that you know is being on your phone. Like if you're sad or mad or happy or whatever feeling you're having, there's gonna be something ticking in the back of your mind saying, hey, like there's a bunch of content I'm missing out on, like let me go watch something real quick. And obviously that does become a bigger issue later on in the future, but that ultimately is something that can cause you to get to a point where you can be quote unquote diagnosed with brain rot. Well, now that we've discussed some of the causes and some of the issues of why it is called brain rot, we can discuss some ways you can prevent and stop it. Well, this may work mainly in kids who are younger, or maybe not adults, but a 2024 company titled Wise Phone has a concept of a phone which only has a phone, messages, maps, settings, and a camera. That's it. You can't install any apps or anything like that. This is honestly amazing because it's really easy to be enforced, because all that you need to do is give this phone to your child, and the only thing they can do are those 5 listed things. That way, you don't have to run the risk of them, downloading Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, or anything like that, because they're limited to such short forms of content. Additionally, in a 2024 article by BBC titled Australia Ban on Social Media Under 16, Australia is going to be enforcing a ban where no one under the age of 16 is allowed to be on any form of social media or anything of that nature. And obviously, that's kind of amazing, because basically what that does is they're gonna be using some sort of like way to like make sure they know that whoever is on like whatever app is of whatever age they say. Obviously, there's still some logistical things that needs to be banged out. But in hindsight, what they're going to do is ensure that no one under that age is on that social media, which means kids who are under that age would be forced to do something productive, play outside, join a sports team, read a book, or anything like that, They don't have to worry about spending all that time on screens because it's not going to be really accessible to them. In a 2017 research paper by the PMC called Screen Time in Young Children Promoting Health and Development, they discuss how, when you're a parent and you have a younger child, some things you can do are, be present for the child, like be around them as much as you can and just have like a healthy relationship with them. Just talk to them and read books to them, have them read books to you, have them engage in like maybe sports or some sort of physical activity. And even just teach them self-restraint. Like a lot of the times the issue stems from people not knowing how to restrain themselves from being on a device or being on the screen too much. But if they're taught that from a young age, that can honestly be very beneficial to them, because then they'll learn that, hey, I need to stop. I'm doing too much. I don't want to cause any more issues for themselves, which obviously would be really good. Additionally, in the 2024 newsletter from parents titled 5 Benefits of Screen Time, again, it's similar to like the article or the study. It's like you just want to ensure that your kids are watching something beneficial online. Don't get me wrong. I understand that kids, need to have their fun and watch like their fun content. But every once in a while, you need to make sure that the content that they're watching is somewhat beneficial for them. Maybe they're learning something, like a science channel or something just like that, If they're stuck just watching a bunch of this brain rot or like bad content, that's not going to bode very well for them. So it's important that they are introduced to content which can both be fun, but maybe sometimes educational or good for their mind. Well, now just review. Today we've gone over, the problem of brain rot and what it kind of really is, things that cause it, which can cause you to be quote unquote diagnosed with it, and then just some solutions that you can have for it. Now, as a society, we all obviously want to move forward and help protect everybody's mental and physical health, but this can't be done if people are spending a lot of time on their phones and stuck on their screen. The next time you go into a public setting, maybe with your friends and with your family, just challenge everybody to keep their phones on. Maybe just like have a conversation with the people around you. You never know what you may not know about someone else, and you never know when someone may be struggling to stay off of their phone. Just talk to people. You never know where that conversation may go.